Hey guys, Heavy Arms 45 here. Now I hope y'all enjoyed y'all Thanksgiving. I know a lot of y'all probably did the traditional turkey and dressing. Some of you probably did a fish broil. Some of you even do barbecue. Why? Because tradition is so old school. You know, you want to do something fresh. You're tired of doing the same thing every year. So you and your family decide to spice it up a bit. And if you did, that's cool. Um, I, on the other side, my family had their whole little Thanksgiving thing. We did most of the stuff we normally do. Switched out the turkey for um everybody had their own personal Cornish hen air fried for them. So those taste delicious. Um what I decided to do, because I promise y'all I'll be back Monday for another video, and here I am. The last Monday of November. We're in another few hours. We'll be right into December, getting ready for that Merry Christmas time, or Hanukkah, or Kwanzaa, whichever one you for. It's here for you. Um, so we're getting into that, and that means money's gonna be rolling out of your pockets into your pockets with one of the ways. But I decided to do a gift for a family member. I had asked, I think about 3, 4 months ago, and for somebody to say what they would like me to do, and a family member actually suggested that I do an honest opinions on different anime, and I made it, if you remember, from A to D. I worked hard from A to D. Well, and then I stopped. So I decided I'm gonna go ahead and do today E and F. Get that out the way so y'all can enjoy hearing those, and that's probably what I'll do for the rest of the year. Hopefully I'll be able to make it through not through Christmas, but be through with all the alphabets before the end of the year. Hopefully. I'll be really pushing it, but I'm gonna really try to. Um so here we have the E/F honest anime opinions. Now, starting off my honest opinions is Elfen Lied. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, Elfen Lied is the first anime that I read the entire manga after watching the anime. I was curious very much on how much it differed from what happened in the manga, and like most animes, it got impatient, decided to leave the manga behind. So the ending of the manga is completely different from the ending of the anime. Um, but a lot of the stuff is fairly close. Um, to summarize it, the whole story is based off of this girl named Lucy. Lucy is this creature that no one knows. They never say if she's an alien or some kind of monster. Well, like if she's alien or she's some ancient monster. They just tell you about her. But she is she's had a troubled past, and she was captured when she was 10. So when you start the anime, she's about 17 years old. She gets herself free of the prison, gets out. um a sniper thinks he has a shot on her, tries to take her out, and accidentally knocks her out unconscious, where she forgets everything about who she is. Um, and that's where the story proceeds. She runs into a guy who she knew back when she was a kid, but she doesn't remember him. He doesn't remember her because of a traumatic situation that happened in his past. And yeah, that's how it goes. He is so he takes care of Lucy, who him and his cousin, who he is in love with, calls new, because the only thing that she can say is like what a Pokemon would do. She just say new, new. So that's the only thing that they know about her. Basically, New doesn't remember anything. She doesn't even realize that she's naked. Like, she starts off just having no clothes on and doesn't think nothing about it. But there's moments where she has flashes of remembering herself being Lucy, and Lucy comes out. Then Lucy goes back into the shadows because she's enjoying being New. New is somebody that um that boy likes. He enjoys having around. He might disagree with what she does sometimes, but he enjoys having New around. And the ending to Elfen Lied, the anime, is a little bit more positive than the ending of Elfen Lied, the manga. A lot of the stuff that happens in the manga is very depressing. I don't know how else to put it besides that. Things just went, yeah, very downhill from that point. Um, yeah, but the fact is that um, it's a gory movie. I mean, it's a gory show, and I almost forgot what makes Lucy so special. Lucy, I forget what kind of creature they say she is, but the thing that there are several others like her, but she's supposed to be like the first one or something like that, where she has and you can know her people based off of, they have horns at the top of their head, and most of the women have pink hair, and they have the ability to have these, I want to say, two-dimensional hands that they call vectors, that come from their backs and can grab stuff or even cut stuff in half. And the reason I say two dimensional, because it cuts like a knife, but at the same time it can grab stuff. So it's like very thin. They are very thin hands that basically flop around and like can grab different things. And these girls are very intelligent from the beginning. If you like gore, this is show for you. It is very bloody. I cannot stress that enough. Um, the next anime is called Eureka 7. Now, Eureka 7 is about Eureka. Eureka is another special girl. I don't know what in the world she is, but I feel like she's some sort of alien or something like that that came to Earth. She apparently has a link to these this robot that they're constantly trying to work with. Apparently, these robots need this kind of like memory uh, crystal, and that memory crystal kind of like brings life to the robots, and hers is very like linked to her in a way. So her and it is very close, and of course, like most anime, she finds a guy that she finds interesting. He proceeds to start working with her in this machine, and they proceed to grow a relationship. He starts trying to be a little bit of a father to her three kids that she's adopted, because these kids have lost their parents due to war. They're with a group of people who are like sky surfers. They have boards that they surf the waves in the air and all this stuff, and they have their own magazine. But at the same time, they're rebels that are wanted and are being looked at being arrested by the government at any time. But they constantly get away before they can. Um, it's Erica is a slow burn. Yes, there's a lot of stuff happening there, but there's a lot of, I get you say, yes, there's development of characters, but it's not enough action, I guess, for me. It's a lot of um distrust of people. Like mostly the person in charge of this group constantly doesn't trust the boy that the girl likes. And so you're constantly seeing how he's treating them, how the rest of the crew treats him. And basically, it's just a slow burn, like I said. You're basically going through all these relationships that he's developing, but none of it really goes to the, as I would believe, the main plot of the story. Um, Another anime that I have in my library is called Evangelion. Now, Evangelion, and I'm not talking about the original Evangelion. I'm talking about the Evangelion 1.1, 2.2, and 3.1, or whatever it is. Those are the ones I have in my library, which they kind of sum up parts of what happened in the original one. It kind of skips over the whole idea of the human instrumentation project, but they keep some of the key things, um, and they change some stuff around. But for the most part, it's a good anime. Um, it has me, to be perfectly honest with you, I get angry at Shinji every time I see him because in the boy hasn't been hugged in a while. Shinji Ikari is always, he's always having to be told that he needs to do something. Get in the Ava, you know. He needs to do this. He lost all this. He has no emotional support. He constantly is trying to get acceptance from people like his dad, Ray. Find someone who cares for him. You know, no one knows what happened to his mom, or not many people know what really happened to his mom. Some people have an idea what happened to her. And his dad has no love for him. Ray has some, but she's not even really human, as you find out in just about every iteration of Evangelion. She's not all the way there. Um, but it's it's a classic. That's the best way I can say. Evangelion is a classic. So to say that you haven't seen at least a episode of it is somewhat blasphemy. Kind of like me saying I don't like JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, or saying I haven't seen Akira. Um, so yeah, it is something that you should watch just for the class. If you want to check out classic anime, um, if you don't want to check out classic anime, you're good with Boruto, Black uh, Clover. You're good with Fire Force and all them, which we'll get to Fire Force later. Um, the next one that I have on my list is Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail has had a long ride, and Fairy Tail goes with the somewhat the idea, kind of like what One Piece does. Um, Fairy Tail has a intense situation that happens. You have this happen for probably about 50 episodes. After those 50 episodes, we have like a big celebration that we won. There's a party, everybody's good, and then we go to the next issue that we have. So Fairy Tail, they always have some kind of drama. If Natsu's around, there's some drama that's finna come out of it. Even when they're like, "Hey, we're going on vacation," drama. There is no time where Natsu, Gray, Lucy, uh, Urza, and Elfman, and all the others ever have just a day off. They always have something that they have to deal with. And that's the way it goes sometimes. But the thing that I like about Fairy Tail is the amount of characters they have. And I don't mean just the amount of people. I don't like a story that has like a lot of people that I'm having to follow their stories, but the amount of character. I mean, it's like each person, even though you might not see them all the time, they have their own personalities that you know that when you see them, okay, this is that person. You know, like Leo is a flirt. He'll flirt with any girl that comes out there. You know, he's that Sanji character, that Sanji, well, Sanji from One Piece. He's the Jiraiya from Naruto. He's Master Roshi. He's the one that you know will flirt with anything that comes out. Natsu is the one who is the Shonen Jump typical character. He eats. He's halfway intelligent when it comes to fighting, but he's simple for the most part. You know, Gray is the intelligent. I'm, you know, why are you such an idiot? Me and you are going to fight person. He's the Vegeta character. You know, Urza is the one that holds them together, which I can't think of anybody in Dragon Ball Z that kind of like holds everyone together like that. Not even Goku. But you know, each person has their own character that even if you don't see them all the time, you know their personality. If they were to change how they were, you would notice that there was a difference in how this person is portrayed. Um, and that's one of the things I like about it. Now, like I said, I'm getting to it. The next one I'm going to talk about is Fire Force. Fire Force, new to the game, been around only 2 years. Um, from the creators of Soul Leader, which since S is back there somewhere, we don't get to Soul Leader later, but it's from the creators of Soul Leader. Fire Force is a interesting way of dealing with the ideas of people being set on fire, infernals, people who have fire-based abilities, which in most Pathfinder, Dungeon Dragons, most games, the basic power that everyone gets is fire. Even if you're saying that someone is going to hell, the main power that someone has to deal with is fire. You don't hear a lot of people dealing with ice or anything like. So this whole world is focused on fire, and the idea of there having a religion that basically works on the idea of everyone is connected by this great flame, Amaterasu. And so since everyone's connected by Amaterasu, um, whenever they try to get rid of, well, extinguish a person's soul that was turned into infernal, they have to say this prayer to try and, I guess you say, cleanse their soul so that they go on to the hereafter and join this great flame again. Um, and so I do find it interesting. I find it interesting about the idea of having a evangelist and his entire group. Um, and um, it has me interested in how everything's gonna work out because you're not having like a person who trains a lot. Like a lot of the trains that you've seen the main characters do has it's been what you would consider basic training. It's not like heavy onslaughts of I need to work out for like 6 months like Goku in a higher gravity or anything like that. Like one of the trains that he did took him I think about a couple days, maybe a week, and it increased his speed and his power of his flames somewhat. Those are things that you would see in anime like that, and I do enjoy that. It's not there's not intense training parts because they're like, okay, we have other things to deal with because people don't stop turning to infernals just because you decide to take a training break. Um, but they are trying to figure out what's the secret of the immortal flame. What is the idea of Amaterasu? Why is the evangelist trying to take out so many people? These are all the questions that they have, and they're trying to find answers to. And I'm trying to find out the answer to them too. The next one, I don't know how to explain. It's fully Cooley. It's all three fully Cooley progressive, fully Cooley alternative. Um, all of them basically goes with the idea of the child growing up in some way, form, or another. There, it's all about this a particular child who still has some form of uh, naive, naive. They're still somewhat naive, so I won't say naivete to them, to where they have to grow up some. In the first one, he's trying to be like his brother. You know, he's trying to be mature. He's hanging around his brother's girlfriend that was in town, while he knows that his brother done found him a new girl in America. He's working, and I'm trying to. He's around the girl who basically is an alien who's trying to get her boyfriend back. That, and she doesn't really want her boyfriend back. She just wants his power, and that's literally what each one of the kids in each one of these is going to get. She's trying to bring back her love, or at least gain his power, so that she can become all powerful and control stuff and defeat uh, Medica Mechanica, Mega Mechanica, if I remember correctly. So in each one of these, Mega Mechanica is always the main villain in it, and she's always there trying to set him free, and he gets free, and then he gets caught again, and it's all in. I won't say each one of these are in different universes, but you still have some of the same characters. It might be the same uh universe, but different times. Because at one point I thought that Progressive might have been after the boy in the first one had grew up, but I'm not sure. Um, the next anime that I have is Full Metal Panic. Now, Full Metal Panic is mm, it's okay. Um, it is bloody. It the first Full Metal Panic, and the I want to say everything in Full Metal Panic except for Full Metal Panic Fumafu, because Fumafu is their slice of life, the time where the kids are just trying to do stuff around school. While you look at other parts of Full Metal Panic, and it's them like literally at war. Something's going on. There's terrorist attacks, stuff like that, and it's robots and explosions. It's not until the second season of Full Metal Panic that you get to see like the what is it? Um, you get to see like actual people being hurt. Cause like I can remember you see people getting shot, but like in the second season, you literally see when someone's neck get cut open, their neck cut open, and you see where their neck bone is, and all the different layers of the meat to their throat. It's very a, a little bit more detailed in people's deaths in that one. Um, but it is a good show. If you like military stuff, it's great. Like I've said before, I like mechs. So yes, of course I'm gonna like watching this. This is a mech show at its base. And about it's not always about how skilled you are, but it's the computer systems they have in them also helps to improve them, which gives them a little bit more power. So like this and Evangelion and Zoids and Gundam, I like them. A next anime that I have is Food Wars. Oh, I'm just I'm dying of hunger just looking at the food from Food Wars. I mean, I wish I could find someone who could make food like that. And Food Wars is like the alternate version of Yu Yu-Gi-Oh, and where like in Yu-Gi-Oh, this trading card game controls people's lives. Like if you lose a Yu-Gi-Oh game, you probably just lost the deal that could have made your family millions of dollars or something like that. What and I think at one point that actually did happen in like the original Yu-Gi-Oh. It was like, well, if we win, you will use our stuff and we will start working with Kyber Core to make new cards for duelists, uh for the duelist monster duel monsters. Sorry. I lost track of myself for a sec. But yeah, you we would be able to make cards for duel monsters. So yeah. Food Wars, literally there are schools dedicated to cooking food. And yeah, you have other jobs, but the center focus of this is food. Imagine you went to the Cordon Bleu or um some other cooking school, and they had this stuff. Like literally you can fail out. Everything that you do is based on how good your food is. And it doesn't mean that if you do bad, it doesn't mean that you are a terrible cook. It just means that you couldn't beat the person that you were going against. And that is how rigorous this thing. You have to be able to be diverse in what kind of foods you make. Because not only does the main character have to make his family style food, but he has to integrate stuff that he learns from when he's at school to make his food better. And like it's so hilarious watching like the president of the school because his whole thing is every time he tastes food that tastes good, his clothes just suddenly rips off. Like he's the old man from Dr. Stone that talks about any type of work that he has to do with crafting. Just all of a sudden his clothes just magically rips off and he looks like he just suddenly gains superpowers. All his muscles just comes out and all this. It's awesome to watch. It's like great to see, but and I'm not talking about his body. I'm like just the amount of food, just like the food gasm that you can have from just how good some of this food looks. And I wish I could find some place that wasn't always in Japan, that was here in America, that I could like try some of these foods out. I would love to do that. Oh, if y'all know where I could do that, please send me a link. I would be willing to test anybody's stuff that's like Food Wars out, except for the bear. That bear sounded kind of gamey, and yeah, I don't know if I want to try that bear. Um, the next anime that I have talking about, and it depends on which one you want to deal with. I have Fruit Basket, the original, and Fruit Basket from 2019. Fruit Basket original looks like it started off with the manga, or it starts off the same way the Fruit Basket from 2019 starts off. But the difference comes when you get into the second season of um Fruit Basket in 2019. It goes a little bit further, giving you more details, which I'm thinking that Fruit Basket from 2019 probably goes more with the manga because they probably instead of trying to continue the story um after the original one ended, they decided to end it right there instead of trying to wait to see what the manga does. So some a lot of stuff is the same, but there are some slight variations. Um and it's either one is good. I like the original song from the first one, but I do like the in-depth story of Fruit Basket. And no, it's not a lot of action. And I am the first one to say that I said I love action, but it's not a lot of action. But I do like the whole idea of the Zodiac being actual people and the shenanigans that you can get into of them touching the opposite sex or the opposite sex touching them and them turning into animals. You know, all the secrets they have to keep. Each one of them have not only their personal secrets, but secrets they have to keep from people that's not a part of their family. Um, And I like the idea of um I forget her name. Um I'm terrible at this. But yeah, I enjoy seeing Keo trying to be a better person so that he is doesn't get looked down as a monster. Even though he knows that his transformation, because he's not originally part of the Zodiac, they somehow he has a deformation that comes with him being the cat Zodiac. Um, and that's that's kind of the sad part of the story. It's the present moment that kind of messes with you when you watch it. Um, yeah. Well, I guess I better go ahead and go to my last one on my list. The last one I have is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is good. It is a very detailed story. Um, it is interesting. You're watching uh the Elric brothers trying to figure out how to basically save themselves because one is stuck in Suvom. I say still because you do know there was a original Full Metal Alchemist, but Full Metal Alchemist, the first one ended different from the way the second one ended, which probably means that Brotherhood is more close to manga, and I believe that actually is true. That Brotherhood is the actual adaptation of the manga into anime. So it's you have a lot more monsters that you didn't see in the original one. Um, you see like chimeras, like you always heard about homunculus, and they had a different thing that happened with the homunculus in the original one than how we say homunculus were made in this one. And you see chimeras, you see people that switched over that didn't switch over before. A lot of the story is very detailed, and it's funny. I like having some fun. I still sometimes will sit up here and clap my hands and hit the ground, hoping that something transmutes, knowing that I don't have a transmutation circle or anything like that. I am not. I do not believe in witchcraft, but I just like think that'd be cool to have some kind of superpower like that. Let's face it, everybody's gonna either try to transmute some or try to do a Kamehameha wave in some way, form, or faction. So those are my uh, honest opinions on these shows. A lot of them are great. Um, they're entertaining. They're funny to watch. Some of them are violent, but I wouldn't have them any other way. Um, and I hope you enjoyed these. Next time I don't know how far I'm gonna get in the alphabet to try and um get through to Z, but we'll get there somehow. Um, well,